respect the tactical Draven ban, but it didn't do so hot in the first one.
Certainly. It does kind of act as this boost to the Lucian Nami side of it if you really still wanted to keep going with this.
Yeah.
Personally, I have fallen out of love with Lucian Nami after the last round of nerfs as well. And Immortals clearly here have as well. If they go for the Lulu, you expect it to be Lulu Zeri versus Lucian Nami.
That's
Yay!
right. Guys, if you can't tell, Kobe is not actually enthusiastic about, you know...
You shut your mouth! I love me some Zeri Lulu versus Lucian Nami, baby. And they get the Sejuani on the Dignitas side. So we've got the Vi, the Wukong, the Maokai is still available. Whoa.
Whoa.
Let's throw down a Maokai, how about? That sounds like an amazing team fight. Immortals couldn't round it out here. Lucian has a hard time fighting around Maokai ultimate.
Yeah, I mean...
Short range.
Yeah, short range. You only have so many so much mobility in your kit. You got to be able to dash around it. But Immortals, forego the Maokai. They're going to look for the Ksante for Revenge instead.
It's too juicy. Revenge has had some massive Ksante games for Immortals. Really big performances, even in their loss. I thought he definitely had. He was definitely the star. I would say.
Yeah.
On their side.
That very first game against TSM, I mean, Revenge had a massive.
The not picking jungle plus double bottom lane in the first rounds of your pick phase. I think that one is probably the only other one that's, unless there's something is super OP at the time, I'd say probably 85% of games will probably go that way.
I want to flag this Cassiopeia ban.
Okay.
Is that
set up some Ryze pick maybe?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm thinking is going to be in the tank for AblazeOlive. Dignitas, though, hovering this Jayce. It's not the Gnar, but it's something that Armut can get very aggressive with, or at least still provide great mid-game damage with.
So you can sometimes start to identify, scrim islands basically that have emerged. The Lucian Nami bottom side with the Jayce on top side. Having two different lanes that you can go to play. We'll see if it works out for Dig this time. Did not work out earlier today. Santorin is on the Sejuani, and he has definitely been a master of Sejuani during his time in the LCS, getting off some really early ganks. He's very creative with it. So he's super good at going for the level 3 insta ganks. But wow, we got a lot to catch up on. The Ryze that we were also very, very surprised about.
We had a thought, we had a premonition that it was going to come through. But Kenvi, I mean, Kindred, definitely one of his most known champions, but the other definitely has got to be the Graves. And now, we haven't necessarily seen it do too well in LCS. It does take a little bit longer to kind of come online, but it's all going to be about how well Immortals can force skirmishes around Kenvi. He wants to get aggressive. He wants to invade. He wants to look for control, especially against Santorin on this edge.
I think a lot of that is going to fall on the shoulders of the Immortals solo laners. Revenge got his Ksante, and AblazeOlive has the Ryze into Azir. If he gets a little bit of push early, help out with those, Graves invades or Graves roams, realm warp down there, make some early plays. Ryze has gotta influence side lanes because of it when it comes to the team fights later on. Jensen is going to farm up to be a powerhouse in those. So we shall see. Can Ablaze start to affect those side lanes? Can he play with jungle?
Someone that is willing to sacrifice resources, and on someone on Ryze, if he can just force prio and move with Kenvi into the jungle whenever he wants to force fights or gain resources and advantages for himself, that has been the formula that Immortals are trying to build up towards in this spring split.
All right, let's get rowdy. Last game of the day. Trying to pull out all the stops. Looks like probably going to go for a delayed invade. They've got a sweeper here on Lulu. Grouping up. Fleshy's got the sweeper. They go for the Graves delayed invade.
Uno, dos. They don't see all of them, though. Looks like Fleshy is just going to take the recall here. Not going to go for super aggressive, just planting that ward deep into the red buff. Santorin not going to be able to at least take it out, but they should know that Immortals will have vision of where Santorin is trying to start.
And a big thing for Graves has always been counter jungling. If the Sejuani goes for the 3-camp gank, you want to know where you're going to be able to exact that payment from. So having the wards on red, they both will know. Sejuani starting opposite side.
Well, we got some time, and everyone just returning to the laning phase is kind of standard as usual. For this Dignitas squad, you know, we were talking about no one necessarily expected them to be, 0-4 at this point, but there are some great pieces. It's going to be around Santorin and Jensen to see if they can kind of stabilize the early mid game, the skirmishing, then Immortals want to power through and bounce back.
And I want to point out that ward there in the river that was placed by Armut. Armut is doing his job trying to protect the red buff here for Sejuani because they know that Kenvi got the ward onto red. He wards here to make sure they will see if Kenvi goes for the dash over the back of Baron Pit play to try and do that red steal. We saw in the previous game, Vi did that in answer to the Graves invade on red and transfer, but isn't going to be attempted this time around. Regardless, is a really good ward to put to protect your jungle camps there. This way they know that Graves is going for a regular top-down clear.
Oh, look at the differentiating path, though, from Santorin. Instead of just fully committing towards the top side of the jungle, he's waiting in the wings because AblazeOlive might face check here. Kenvi's clearing Raptors, so he's in the area, but not necessarily right there in case AblazeOlive steps too far forward. Santorin is just waiting. He's waiting for the right moment.
Very, very patient.
Is he going to get rewarded? He finally does. AblazeOlive realizes he stepped too far forward. The permafrost and the flash. Oh! That is a clean first blood from Dignitas.
That's why they always tell you patience is a virtue. Santorin, level 3, gank towards mid at Jensen. Set from Champion Select, and he pulls it off. The patience there. They get the flash. They get the kill. Huge change in how you want to be able to play this game now.
That's right.
Really good stuff from these veterans on Dignitas. This is what people wanted to see when they heard these signings. Huge names with LCS history. Santorin and Jensen getting off to an explosive start here. They want to change the narrative coming in here week 3.
And as we talked about before, what were the vibes like over at Dignitas, and just considering they went 0-4 in the first 2 opening weeks, but Santorin, optimistic as ever, changes the game plan, recognizing that, hey, later on, Kenvi and AblazeOlive are going to try to take resources away from me. I need to be proactive now, get Jensen ahead, and that means he will always have to push prio.
And it's a perfect way to attack your opponent's win cons. People always talk about, hey, we need to know our own win cons. You also, it can be a very good strategy to just attack the win cons of your opponents. That Ryze roaming to the side lanes that we were looking for. If you blow his flash, if you attack him really early on, you can take that away, and Santorin is keeping up that idea here. Want to make sure that Jensen will be able to scale into a monster.
Oh, Spawn looking almost daringly. Ignite traded for Barrier against Tactical. I thought that was going to be more exciting. Just the summoner spells burned here.
You got me excited. That was great stuff there, man.
You,
that guy was on fire. It was kind of low.
Dude, when anything is on fire, you cannot help but be excited. Kenvi now trying to tussle with Santorin in the top side of the map. Does he have help? No, not really.
Nice.
Nicely done from Santorin.
Yeah, able to secure it. It can be so annoying. Smoke screen, like if it's on the edge and you're not right next to the red buff, it can really mess with your head. But Santorin, steady as ever. Able to secure his own red buff in the face of the Graves invade. There are 2 camps. the Graves players and the people who always have to play against Graves invades. I feel like a lot of people can relate there and cheer on the defender of their own jungle.
And it's always annoying when you are trying to adapt to what the meta calls for, and we are kind of in a tank jungle world. It's not often that you run into more of the aggressive invading carry junglers, but you know, when you do and you're just trying to play for the team, it's like, guys, this Graves is in my jungle, he's taking my stuff, man. But Santorin still continuing on the track of just look how proactive he is. Yes, he's somewhat down farm, but he's not even that far behind, and he's still putting more pressure on the map than Kenvi is.
And he's double the vision score. Clearing out wards around mid, clearing out wards on bottom. You strike fear into your opponents. You get the successful gank off. Then you keep them afraid by taking away their vision and make them think that there are constantly more ganks around the corner.
That's right. Really
doing a very good job. Sejuani has very powerful ganks. As soon as he gets level 6 as well, he can pull a repeat off there. AblazeOlive still quarter of the way through the cooldown of that Ryze flash in mid lane. And Santorin, by keeping the wards clear around mid lane and bottom lane both, securing the objective here. This is the week of the underdogs. This is the week of the comebacks, baby.
Everyone who had a 0-4 start, this is their moment to take their first dub of the split. Something that Kenvi was doing that I thought was interesting. He was hovering mid lane because he knew AblazeOlive's flash timer is still down, and Jensen had enough mana for a full combo trying to Shurima shuffle him potentially into the tower. So he just had to hover, make sure, like, hey, can you get that shove in safely before you go for a recall?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Santorin's doing a good job making the opponent laners fearful of his ganks. He's also making Kenvi fearful of them.
All right, tactical burned once again by Spawn with the Ignite. Kenvi pushes Santorin back, but at least Dignitas are happy that Kenvi can't really get anything done on the bottom side of the map.
Yep. Should be able to defend in there. They're using a lot of his time, too. Kenvi's sticking around to make sure they can push this wave in.
Yeah.
By not having vision of Santorin, the Sejuani, they're like, all right, fine. I have to make sure that you guys can get it in. Wave is pushed right back out here by Spawn and Biofrost. And can't spend too much time down there. So Kenvi gets his recall off, gets his purchase. Probably heading towards the early Black Cleaver here. Again, can't say it enough. Got extra free 50 HP and 5 more attack damage on it this patch.
It's such a good item, man.
It is juicy, and see how quickly you can get it done. Especially when you're facing Sejuani.
Yeah.
Always love shredding armor.
It just definitely makes sense. I mean, even though Santorin is the sole tank on this front for this team, definitely helps when you can just easily shred armor for the rest of a mostly physical damage composition from Immortals, as Spawn just opens up with the culling, trying to just force this recall in, because now if Dignitas need to fight on this top side of the map, at least bot lane can join, but for them, the Rift Herald's all theirs. They don't even need anyone else to come on over. I mean, Santorin has just been doing such a great job of controlling the map.
Yeah, he for sure is my player of the game thus far. For my first 8.5 minutes, Santorin player of the game. You just saw the gold charts.
Ooh. Jensen wanted to look for that timer, but AblazeOlive had flash up this time.
And the gold charts are what an ideal Sejuani looks like. He got all 3 of the Dignitas carries are top of the gold charts, even though Sejuani is down there at the bottom, is because he's clearing all the vision, pulling off the ganks, setting up the carries to actually be able to carry. And Jensen here, as you mentioned, also now starting to be able to do it by himself. Burns the flash early on Ablaze. And now you know Santorin with the ultimate from Sejuani. Huge threat. He's actually going up to Armut.
Oh, Armut sidestepping Revenge's approach here. Santorin waiting for a flash from Revenge before committing the Glacial Prison. Goes for the Permafrost. Beautiful patience from Santorin there. And that gives Armut a kill.
Yeah, nicely done there. Melee form from Jayce, so nifty in being able to stack up Sejuani ults. Trying to get that little auto off. They get their double stuns. Flash down from Revenge. Kill on Revenge. Santorin just can't miss.
That's right. Now, we are giving a lot of credit, obviously, to Santorin because it is deserved, but, you know, we want to make sure that people remember that this is what Santorin is kind of known for, even on Team Liquid. And so, during the roster changes during the offseason, a lot of question marks were had about, you know, why is Santorin getting sent off of Team Liquid and having to look for a new home in Dignitas. But Santorin and Jensen, both of these guys are people that may have been underrated so many times in the past, not given credit where it is due after, even when the results don't come through, because this is what Santorin would do for Team Liquid last year so many times in the early game.
Yep, playing on the edge of Fog of War right there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the price of all these proactive plays from the Dignitas jungler, of course, is Kenvi out farming on the Graves. Slow away the Gromp as well. I was thinking maybe they'd be able to work something out with bottom lane, but Biofrost and Spawn not giving them any openings. They both have double summoners up here for the Lucian Nami. So no opportunity for anything bigger than just stealing away the Gromp there for Kenvi.
Yeah.
And with the whip, looks like he actually is going to go for that board drinker build you're talking about into some shorter range champions. Even though Lucian is not melee, obviously, is a little bit shorter of range as the AD carries go. So,
I mean, outside of that culling, you got to get into your 500 range to really do some damage here on the gunslinger. But for Dignitas here, they have control of the map, thanks to Santorin just really pushing the tempo for everyone and in place. They have the opportunity to go for the second dragon anytime they want to. I'm just curious if Immortals are concerned at all. Like, obviously, the game hasn't even been close to blown and wide open, but just the control has been impressively on Dignitas' side.
Yep, definitely is going quite nicely for Dig. Approaching their next big power spike, which is going to be the Lucian Gale Force completion. When Spawn gets that, even though Lucian Nami got nerfed, they're still going to have huge burst damage between him and Biofrost. And with the bottom lane, even without Gale Force done, a lot of pressure put on Tactical and Fleshy here. So they push in. Santorin's able to get the second dragon pretty easily. Mid lane has pushed in due to his ganks.
Yep.
Bottom lane pushed in as well. Gives you another easy dragon pickup here. So all these neutral objectives controlled by Santorin, the lanes controlled by him. And it's just a bit of extra jungle camps eaten up by Kenvi and Payment, which has resulted in a pretty early Gore Drinker, 12.5 minutes. Nothing crazy, especially by like solo queue standards.
Sure.
Solo queue, you're getting kills and stuff. Super accelerated.
It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah. But we'll see if he can actually get anything done with it.
Now would be the time to try and sync up with some of your other teammates on Immortals to see if you can take advantage of this massive power spike that you have. You have not only so much ability haste, but so much upfront damage and the ability to just sustain yourself in really long periods of fights and skirmishes.
Yeah, I'll see, because I don't know if it's gonna be super useful versus like Azir and Jayce. Both are gonna, of course, outrange it and kind of try and poke him down and stuff. And then Lucian with the culling, if he goes rapid fire, I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
I'm saying things look really dang good for Dignitas right now, though.
It is difficult for Immortals composition at this moment to kind of operate in what Dignitas have just been able to do thanks to Santorin's early efforts already. You talked about the range advantage that Dignitas have. Talk about the lack of engage options that Immortals have. If you're not flanking, you're not getting anywhere into Dignitas' backline.
Gale Force is done for Spawn, so he's fishing around for an opening. Isn't going to find it. Tactical and Fleshy back right out there for Immortals. But this whole game, the minimap has been completely red. Red wards everywhere. The Vision game absolutely dominated by Santorin, by Dignitas. And Armut, quietly, because so much other stuff has been going really well for Dig, highest gold in the game, was able to take the top turret completely with his Jayce up there. So the Armut jersey-wearing fan in the audience certainly happy. There he is.
The happiest Mad Lions Armut fan.
Armut is going to be quite rich. See how early you can get his Muramana and everything, because that poke damage is really going to be painful.
And that's going to be the big thing for Dignitas as they start setting up for the last two objectives, or the last two dragons of the game, which is Hextech Soul. That is a dragon you do not want to give over easily. Immortals, even if you guys are behind, we can imagine that they're going to be trying to throw everything that they've got at that point, even if they're down significant gold and stats. But how are you going to brute force your way through if you have to deal with calling upon entrance. Shock blast from Armut. Just Azir holding up the front line with soldiers. It is going to be a tall task for Immortals.
Certainly will be. All right, can they? Nope. Not even gonna give them an opening. They're like, maybe they can.
I saw it in your eyes, Kobe. You're like,
maybe
right,
they could get a summoner spell. All right, well, constant farm from the side of Immortals, but Dignitas, everything else. That's right. Very, very proactive game from him. Really like the look from Dig, controlling all the neutral objectives, controlling all of the towers as well. Only one secondary turret is left on the map. That is the bottom one. You can see they've already made the rotation. Jensen got put down there since that's where Dig lost their outer, with Tactical being able to push it in off the rotation, trying to keep it a little bit safe there. Azir obviously has the mobility, also can put up his own Azir tower to replace it and buy time for the rest of the team to get there. If there was any strong play from Immortals, and it looks like Kenvi is going to try and play to the bottom side here.
Need to find ways to establish vision control for the dragon, but Santorin strikes first, finds Kenvi. Only doesn't do that much damage on the back end of it, but Immortals force their TP from Revenge. Can't get on top of anyone to look for the all-out.
And look at the price. Armut holds on to his TP, says, you guys are fine, just escape. I will push down mid.
Oh, great bubble from Biofrost from Fog of War. Forces the flash and the heal from Fleshy. And now Spawn needs to be careful about how far Kenvi gets on forward. AblazeOlive also flashing, looking for the root, looking for the damage. Revenge Gale goes all out, looking for Santorin, and Kenvi fires, shot, and true. Landing on the back line, and Santorin goes down. But still, as you called it out before, Kobe, Armut is still pushing in the mid lane. Dragon's not coming up for 25 seconds, so Immortals, all they get from that is just a kill.
Hey, they're on the board, though. Come on, yeah. They got a kill.
That's one thing. It's something to work with.
They got the kill. The price, of course.
Holistic.
Yeah, baby. They got a kill. The price, like you're saying, is a big price. They use their teleport. They lose their mid-secondary tower. Armut's able to push that one in. The poke is going to be very painful later. Yeah. They are going to stay around the dragon and re-teleport back out with the Blaze to finish it off, though.
Armut has teleport. He's already TPing to the mid lane. Santorin has Glacial Prison once again. Immortals just trying to hold them off as long as they can. Kenvi, oh, he doesn't have smite, but he secures the dragon. They get out at the price of Revenge, giving his life willingly so that they could escape with the third dragon. Looks like AblazeOlive is not going to make it out alive either. And Dignitas, they sacrifice that third dragon, but clean up 2 more kills for themselves.
All right, let's see how much they can actually take with this. Because with Rifter out, this is going to be a pretty strong push. Outer tower is definitely dead. Secondary charge here, plus trying to keep up pressure with Jayce mid in a 4-1 from Dig. Looking to get even more.
Rift Herald, charge!
Good job, Shelly.
You did a damn good job out there, soldier. All right, Dignitas cleaning up that last tier 2 turret on the bottom side of the map. Looks like they can take their leave. They still have some ultimates to play with without Glacial Prison. You definitely don't want to be overextending your leave here.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to give any money, any more money back. Good call out. And we did get to see Kenvi dashing in and getting a 3-person Gourd Drinker and then finishing off the kill with the ultimate there. So it is, you know, more gold onto the Graves. Now going for that Black Cleaver. This is our second attempt at calling the Black Cleaver, baby. Still gonna be the case here. Still gonna work on it. I just think that Dignitas here, with the amount of gold that their carries got,
yes,
we'll see if it's possible to really navigate those team fights later.
Yeah.
For Kenvi, for Immortals. Jensen here, still very, very happy with the way this game is going. On the Azir, 2 core items completed. He's got the extra Shadow Flame penetration on top of his Sork shoes here, so gonna do a lot of damage to so many champions that have no magic resistance, namely the Zeri and the Graves. That is gonna be the big weakness there for the Graves. You know, short range, has to deal with all this poke from the Azir.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing for Graves to brute force their way through a lot of physical damage as you're just constantly stacking up that True Grit. Doesn't work against magic damage. You don't get a magic resist off of that. So Kenvi gonna have to pick his fights wisely and pick his targets as well wisely. For Dignitas, I mean, there's a theory that maybe if you find these carries isolated, pick them off, and don't get that proper 5-on-5 for Dignitas, and Immortals can kind of sneak their way back into the game, overcome this gold deficit. But it's, once again, what are your pick tools for Immortals? It's all single target, so you have to pick and choose. You can't just get them all.
You could do the 5-person Realm Warp right on top of somebody's head. How about
Bam!
that? The 5-person surprise party.
I love it.
Throw them a surprise party. It looks like Dignitas walk over a ward, so this party in the river will not be a surprise, as they don't have a sweeper up.
Uh-oh.
It's not a surprise, but it might be effective.
Brother AblazeOlive might be gone for this world. A nice movement speed for the face rush. Sidestep the Glacial Prison. Okay! Nice moves out there.
Phase rush in action from Ablaze is able to juke out the Sejuani ult. The tower's not able to juke though.
Damn.
Terrible tower jukes.
Could you imagine if turrets could uproot themselves and start walking around?
Give him some Scuttle Crab AI or something.
Dude, that would be crazy.
All right, no counter push here allowed as Armut's going to teleport in, push revenge off the tower as well, and Kenvi's not done. Okay.
Hey, we talked about isolated targets. Kenvi finds himself a fish. Tactical slowing it down with the zap of the wall. Biofrost still has flash. He's just deciding whether he wants to use it, but great bubble. He gets to save his own flash. He's just fine.
Yeah, Biofrost cool under pressure. Walks his way out. They've got plenty of vision still leading up to the Baron as well, so they saw the follow-up was pretty far away, and it was just the threat of Kenvi. So they don't blow anything extra. Now Dignitas, with bottom lane fully open here all the way up to the inhibitor turret, they have to deal... Jensen is the only one with teleport, so it'd be kind of difficult here for Armut to actually go down. They might want to do a 4-1 with Jensen. Looks like with Dragon spawning, though, they're just going to push out mid and bottom. Set up to secure number 3. They let the previous number 3 go over to Immortals after that nice long chase that Immortals were able to force, but they don't want to let that continue to happen.
Thankfully for Immortals, the fact that Dignitas are not on soul point means that...
Kenvi's in.
Oh, okay, Biofrost still has flash. Nice bubble, but Kenvi dodges it with the collateral damage and also getting some damage into the front line. And now they have to back off here.
That was some crazy confidence from Kenvi. I'll say that. Not done.
Glacial Prison goes wide. No one gets hit by it, stunned by it. Revenge is now on the other side of the wall, but because he already used all out, he can move over, and he has teleport. He's contemplating whether he wants to reposition here.
Man, that was crazy. Ablaze was still in base, too. He's walked his way up to the rest of the team now, though. Full 10-on-10.
Biofrost cannot step up here. He can only offer so much. The Tidal Wave is the only thing that he can really do. He's waiting for the angle to split up Immortals. Tidal Wave comes through. Kenvi can't get into the back line quite yet. Santorin, the rest of Dignitas burn down the dragon. Clean stuff from Dignitas. Immortals can't get anything done.
Getting exciting there for a little bit. In the end, they do bully them off. Dignitas, good job zoning them out, pulling the dragon over. They've got the Scuttle Crab vision. AblazeOlive tries to roam warp to join with the rest of the team, but the poke damage from Armut, just a couple of those shock blasts, man. This is 3 core items for Armut completed now, and they're gonna hex skate back over to the Baron, try and do a similar dance. Kenvi, though, that's what really got me pumping at the beginning. He just blind dashed over the wall onto Biofrost, who was able to dodge his way back out.
It's small moments like that is why all of the fans that started watching him during his days of 100 Thieves Next in 2020 and watching his career and progression go over get excited for it. It's like, yes, Kenvi's not having the greatest time adjusting to LCS, but at small moments, maybe they look to pick off Santorin, but the culling from Spawn completely chunks out Kenvi on the front lines. Jungler for jungler is traded, but Dignitas have the advantageous positioning and health bar status as they look to continue pushing them down mid lane.
No smites available, so we're just gonna push right down mid lane here for Dignitas. Again, Armut poke is massive, so as long as they group up and use that, they've got a huge advantage, and they're going to use it to push in mid, get mid lane priority, and then sweep away all the wards from Baron. Oh, they actually don't even sweep them away. They leave these wards up. They don't have sweepers available.
Is that PM?
There's one control ward in Biofrost inventory that they could move. Again, no smites.
Yeah, okay, this is gonna be huge. They flash forward on the Jensen. Armut trying to follow up. Tidal Wave gets 2 knockups down. AblazeOlive is traded, but Spawn still lives and holds on thanks to Biofrost healing, and Santorin is back. But if Santorin's here, then Kenvi's gotta be here as well, because both of them died at the same time. And both teams are gonna take a reset. They're not gonna fight over the Baron.
This is a fun one, though. These couple wards here sticking around in the river, let them know they were on it. And Dignitas, although they had a lot of damage in there, thinking maybe, okay, let's go bluff it. We can try and burn it down. If they come, then they turn around, trade some kills here. Both mid laners now going down in the aftermath. But with teleport from AblazeOlive, Dignitas, no, we've got no smite. Let's not chance it. AblazeOlive flashes forward, trying to get onto the 2 carries back there. He did get the Rune Prison. They get the kill onto Azir with Tactical also full committing. Flashes from all the carries to get back there and kind of assassinate him, but...
Whoa, Kenvi just right in Spawn's face. Answers back with a culling. Bubble keeps him in place so that Kenvi has to soak up all of that damage. The rest of Immortals, they're getting antsy. I mean, this is... You're calling it out before Kobe. Both of these teams are starting to really throw haymakers at each other. It was all early game, all Dignitas, but Immortals finally coming into their own as most of their item spikes are coming online. Glacial Prisons, Fleshy is able to get out. No dice there, but it is a flash that is burned.
And it's getting kind of scary here for them because Ablaze, Tactical, no summoner spells for either of them. Dignitas is going to hard push forward, corral them in their own side of the map, and then return to that Baron. They've got massive Baron damage. If they could fully clear out the last remaining control ward there through the blue jungle as well, they could just rinse and repeat that strategy over and over. There is one Scryer's Trinket ward here that is available on AblazeOlive. So level 16 Ryze with Hex Gates as well. You can always Hex Gate really quickly back out on the map.
Yeah.
So Immortals...
They're just holding them. Oh, just look at the way that the rest of Armut, Biofrost, and Spawn are just holding the lines while Jensen and Santorin try to burn down the Baron. 6,000 HP already just between the 2 of them, but Immortals have brute forced their way through the other 3 members of Dignitas, and Biofrost has nowhere else to run. The Baron is a flub. Dignitas have to scram, all out for revenge, has isolated but Jensen, but quick moves as he shifts on over back to his team. Dignitas repositioned safely, but they've already lost on their support, whereas now Immortals, they want to press their luck.
Yeah, with a little bit of extra Baron damage going down, Biofrost is the only casualty. Immortals keeping it up.
They don't even want to commit to the Baron. They're trying to force Santorin off. They're split. 7,000 HP. AblazeOlive is already on over the wall. Tactical and the rest of Immortals all join the fray. Tactical is going to soar and takes out both Armut and Spawn. And that's a significant number advantage. Immortals, do they turn back?
Immortals get back on that Baron. Oh, they're going to go for the Dragon instead. They don't want to give over the soul to Dignitas. Okay, so they make the call. We're going to deny the Dragon soul, pick this thing up, not go for Baron. Honestly, I do think that is the better call because they wouldn't be able to end the game with the Baron buff. And this is playing the longer game. Yeah, Santorin's not able to get there quite in time.
The way the observers were zooming in, I was like, did they see the future? Is he gonna Arctic Assault into Flash and just smite it? That would have been some crazy stuff.
Ooh, we are in for the long haul here, baby.
I'm down.
This one is getting much more exciting here. So Immortals, they know they've got to get in there quickly. Dignitas has so much damage, they're burning it down. Kenvi charges ahead, gets really low. They early use the Lulu ult on him, but Revenge is able to just beat down Biofrost with the help of the Baron damage attacking him, as he was the last straggler out of that Baron pit. Jensen, thankfully for Dignitas, was able to slip over the wall and survive, but still, it's Immortals starting up on the Baron again to look for the chase. Tactical is the one who takes things into his own hands, charges forward. Here's the reaction from Armut.
Just barely getting out alive. It's like, okay, we only lost one, guys. It's not that bad.
We can still do it. Winnable, winnable. Dignitas still ahead.
Armut fishing for some damage. Accelerated Shock Blast 1 goes wide. The non-empower one only just tickles Revenge a little bit, but it's really the damage from Jensen that is starting to make a mark, and Dignitas just playing around with their poke, playing with their rage, trying to take advantage and take space against an IMT.
And the most important space is the space by Baron. Really, really good wards here from Immortals. They're looking at the Hex Gate directly behind Baron. They've got the Pixel Brush. Santorin trying to take it out, though. He gets 2 of the 3. AblazeOlive could Realm Warp right behind them from mid lane, too. Look at the mini-map as Tactical is trying to get a tower while they threaten the Baron vision here. So Dignitas, they lose out a little bit more. Tactical gets solo gold on the outer tower top side, while Ablaze is holding middle. Immortals clawing their way step by step back into this game.
AblazeOlive is cut off here, though. Has to take care of mid-prio, as I think it was Revenge that ate the Glacial Prison from Santorin. Not quite isolated here, but Revenge already... Oh, that's a lot of damage for Spawn! Almost finds Fleshy in the backline. Tidal Wave is going to clip him. He moves out of the way, but Fleshy might not get out alive on this one, but the rest of Dignitas can't commit forward because Spawn is also sub 50% HP. This fight is so close, Kobe. Santorin wants to press the charge forward. AblazeOlive now looking for the flank, but it's just a Realm Warp. It's not even a real Realm Warp. It's just a bait. It just pushes off Dignitas. My God, Kobe! They do not want to overcommit.
And the Baron still stands. All right, this is going to buy Fleshy time to go back to base. Heals up in the fountain. Santorin coming in to try and clear out that vision, but it's going to be 2 more recalls. Hex Gates means everybody can get back in time as well, so we can just keep this party rocking.
It's just this constant do-si-do around Baron until someone calls chicken and just pulls out. I mean, this is...
Okay, here's what we look for then. Big stopwatches. Next team fight is going to have some big plays. We've got Tactical already playing really aggressively on the Zeri. Next fight, he's going to have Flash, Barrier, and a stopwatch available. Meanwhile, Jensen on this Azir. When's the big team fight winning Azir sweep, you ask? Well. He also has Flash, ult, and stopwatch available.
And he can make it safely.
Who will get the better of the other carry?
And Immortals doing such a great job to keep themselves in this game, considering that Dignitas had probably one of their cleanest early games so far of the spring split. Dignitas want this win. They need this win, the statement win, to just clean out everything so that they can bounce back after the 0-4 start. As, oh, Spawn almost getting caught out here, getting bursted down. The damage from Tactical is spattering. Good flash forward. Armut tries to get in there with the hammer to the skies. All out from Revenge. Finds Santorin the flash. He still can't get away. Immortals, they're turning this fight around.
They're turning the game around, baby. Immortals, 5 members strong, gonna head over to the Baron. What an assassination. So Spawn wanted to get value out of his culling, even though he was chunked down to 100 HP, and Tactical said, not on my watch. The poke damage lands in the backline, though.
Big damage from Armut, but Kenvi is still alive and healthy. He's still got a smite. 2,000 HP. They get the smite. It's clean. The rest of Immortals, they're blinking low, but they might just be able to get out. Dignitas have to stop it, and they can't, because it's the Realm from AblazeOlive. Immortals now control this game.
Oh my goodness. Immortals, such a tenacious team here, never giving up. And look at this. So Revenge is able to get a Q3 onto Spawn to start this out, I believe. He goes in, yeah, with the footwork dash into Q3, the knockback onto Spawn, they chunk him down to 100 HP, and look at this, he wants culling damage. Technical says, get the hell back in the fountain. Flashes on him, not on my watch, no culling for you, sir. Then they got Revenge, another big Ksante play. They're trying to chase him down through their own jungle here, though.
4,000 on the Dragon. Santorin, can he get in there? No. Immortals secure the 3rd Hextech Dragon for themselves. And now Immortals, they've already burned a lot of tools. They don't want to continue to fight any further. They got what they came for. Kobe!
Oh my.
Tenacity is the key that you said for Immortals, how tenacious they are. I mean, it plays up to the name. They never say die. No matter how awry the early game goes, they have somehow clawed their way back into this game.
Oh my goodness. Revenge and these Ksante picks that he's getting as well. Big stuff from him. And the last one, you know, getting Spawn is one thing, and then he also got Santorin with the all-out, using his flash for the positioning. Earned Immortals this Baron, and they get some good value out of it. 2.6K, the Baron power play. Not an award-winning Baron power play, but a decent one at that, and a much-needed one for Immortals. Revenge is going to make it a little bit more worth here. The Demolish proc almost taking down another tower.
And you can just imagine that, especially with a team like Immortals, who, especially from, you know, Revenge's point of view, you can see that the comms might be super momentum driven. That when a team like this that has struggled to figure out what the voice comm structure is going to be like, but when things are going good and things are swinging their way, then that's when everything starts going well, and it's just confidence, belief, trust in each other over a team that, you know, being put together, they had the vision, it hasn't worked out for them always well, but ever since the last win, as shaky as it was, it's the push in the right direction.
And that direction is forward here, right behind Tactical. 5 kills for him. There's a giant gold bounty on Tactical's head. It's massive. They dodge out on the tidal wave.
Watch Santorin. Maybe looking for a flank and Tactical steps too far forward. He knows that he does not have flash. Santorin looks, but Revenge, good body block as Kenvi snipes out Armut. That's 5-4 now for Immortals as they look to pressure the second tier turret.
Kenvi just demolished Armut in the side there on the little wall. Blasts him down, gets the Gore Drinker value as well, and Immortals are going to plow further ahead, deeper into Dignitas territory.
Immortals just stepping on forward. AblazeOlive already pushing on the top side of the map. They're splitting the attention of Dignitas at the moment. One of these turrets might just fall, but Baron buff seems to have run out for Immortals. Now they're taking their resets here. Revenge looking for one, but he has teleport to join the fray if they need him again.
Tactical, so much power here on the Zeri, a lot riding on his shoulders. Has not died yet in this game. Immortals gonna take the breather. Top side, a lot of work was done by AblazeOlive in that split push that you're mentioning. The tower really low. It will slowly heal up, but only to 33% health. Meanwhile, bottom lane has already been destroyed completely, so that inhibitor is fully exposed. There's one real big step left for Immortals to take. They've fully taken back this gold lead into their terms, 4,000 now on their side. 1 minute, 40 seconds left on the soul, though. The final dragon here. One team will get a soul.
I feel like that could be the last fight of the game, where both Immortals and Dignitas just throw everything that they have, and with an open lane through the bottom side of the map as well, that could be Immortals' window to close out the game. If Dignitas are the ones successful in claiming that Hextech soul, momentum is completely changed once again after losing it just several minutes ago.
All right. That pretty dark leading up to it too. Baron spawn time is very close to the Dragon spawn time. Of course, Dragon goes down way quicker, so you're gonna want to concentrate your vision over there toward that area. Santorin going to help Biofrost in cleaning those wards in preparation for what might be the ultimate team fight of this game. Certainly will have huge rewards.
For a second, I thought Santorin would pull the Glacial Prison right on top of Fleshy, but probably just did not have information. Oh, Kenvi! Oh, that's a bad place to be, buddy. Flash already burned. Cleanse used. I believe it was the McHale's from Fleshy, making sure his jungler doesn't go down right before the Hextech Soul. But that's a huge opportunity for Dignitas now.
Interesting, too, because that was also Sejuani ultimate. Jensen's getting chunked out a little bit.
Immortals, but Revenge is here looking to start things off. Gargoyle Stoneplate gives him a massive shield. Oh my god, look at the damage! Tactical Revenge just plowing through Dignitas! And now the rest of them are scattered. They don't have a front line anymore. Dignitas on the cusp of trying to retreat it all. Immortals somehow just clawed their way through thick and thin. A beautiful early game setup by Santorin, but it's Immortals that clean and clawed all the way back, Kobe.
Who needs a soul? Not Immortals. They're gonna take your Nexus instead. Spawn, the only hope for Dig.
Spawn, the last one standing, but I don't know how much he can do realistically against all 5 members of Immortals. Never say die if you are an Immortals fan, as your team just picked up their 2nd win of the spring split.
Ksante and Zeri, baby. Immortals, they weather the storm. Santorin did such a good job the early game for Dignitas. Dignitas ruled the early game. All the lanes winning, pushing ahead, all the neutral objectives, all the vision in the map, but Immortals never gave up. Tactical, continued farming on the Zeri. He goes deathless the whole game.
That's right.
Following up on these plays and revenge a lot of very important key Ksante plays, Ksante picks.
Just huge props to Tactical.